What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Hopefully, y'all were able to hear that and hear that intro. Um, oh boy. So, what inspires this? Excuse me, y'all. This think piece today. Well, um, I didn't put the link for this because it's not part of the Black Manosphere. It's actually part of the, I guess, overall Manosphere. I don't know why that's happening right now, but or maybe you want to call it the White Manosphere. Um, a So I watched it also. BGS made reference to it. It was Rolo Tomasi speaking about um, how we don't owe women just about anything. We don't owe women saving them. And he used a clip from Flinging Monkey to kind of drive home his point. So once again, that's Rolo Tomasi using a old clip from Turd Flinging Monkey. I want to say it was back from like 2015, maybe 2016. And yeah, and BGS made reference of this yesterday. It was a 3 hour long Rolo Tomasi, kind of, I guess, video. All right. And Mr. Z did listen to it yesterday. It's funny because when BGS made reference to it, I was like, yeah, I listened to it too. I want to say this. I said this last year, I want to say, with Ebony K. Williams, when Ebony K. Williams was going around speaking about mediocre men. And I want to say I said this on the breakdown of women's perspective, and I hope they post the video or the conversation they had about Ebony K. Williams from last year. And if I recall correctly, I said that we don't owe Ebony K. Williams being kick ass for her. I want to be very. I am not about mediocre men per se. I'm not about um, incompetent men, black men in specific. I am not about black men being losers. I'm not about black men living on their mama couch. I'm not about that. With that said, men, black men specifically, do not owe women, black women specifically, being better than them so they can scratch their hypergamy itch. Earning more money than them so they can scratch their hypergamy itch, right? Being taller than them so they can scratch their hypergamy itch. Being more intelligent than them so they can scratch their hypergamy itch. Having more status than them so that they can scratch their hypergamy itch. Black men in specific don't owe black women that. Go get it from the white man. Oops. How's that working for most black women? Yikes. Huh? I wanted to take this in a slightly different direction than Rolo because Rolo went into like the more Christiany view of things, like men, it's a man's job, and kind of that Steve Harvey thing, right? It's a man's job to take care of a wife and kids, and this is your obligation. And once again, it's the what we say here, which is they want to give us this responsibility without any authority, right? They want to give men this responsibility. As a matter of fact, they demand that the men take on this responsibility without any of the authority, right? So that was the direction that Rolo Tomasi went in. Mr. Z's going in a slightly different direction. I'm going in a direction that I don't care how dry your vagina is. I don't care how angry you are, how rageful you are, that you have this college degree and you have making good money and you have your own home and you're kicking ass in your career and all you need is the man, right? All you need to do is check off the box for the man that earns more than you, that's in a higher position than you, or maybe even you're willing to settle for someone who's pretty much same as you, earns similar to you, et cetera, same education level. And it's not fair that these men aren't on quote unquote on your level. And so when women have resigned themselves to, or what this has resulted to, is that women are crying and yelling and screaming all over the interwebs so that America or America's technocrats can make men better for women. This is the direction Mr. Z is going in. No! Ooh, goddamn Z. We don't owe you that. Going to Mr. Z's title, we don't owe you that. Dear ladies, you tore up the social contract. We do not owe you that. We don't owe you that. Go bump vaginas then. Goddamn, Z. Dear ladies, we do not owe you that. We do not owe you being kick ass because that's what's gonna get your giny wet. We do not owe you, I don't know, go get surgery so we could be over 6 feet tall. We don't owe you that. We don't owe you going into college loan debt, going into student loan debt because you want to graduate college and university with a man that's on your level or above. We don't owe you earning more money. If a man wants to be a minimalist, then so be it. We don't owe you that. Huh? Dear ladies, you ripped up the social contract. We owe you nothing now. We owe you nothing. You ripped up the social contract. Many of you don't even know what a social contract is. You ripped up the social contract. And shout out to what's her name? L'Oreal. The clip, once again, links are in the description box, that Anton was covering, and L'Oreal was like, a real man, let me say this one more again for the people in the back, the slow people, the short bus. Dear ladies, when you do a real man, listen, no man is listening to you. Real men don't listen to women when they say real men. Ooh, goddamn. That whole reverse psychology, well, a real man will pay and not try to run things. I don't know what drugs y'all on. And by the way, that's the angle that L'Oreal was going in. A real man will just fund it and let me run it. A real man will provide me security for my autonomy. I don't know what drugs y'all on. Say it again, Z, because you were coughing a little bit. For these women, a real man will provide her security so she could be autonomous. What drugs are y'all on? Dear black women, that's not a black man thing. That's a man thing. Oh, wait a minute, Z. That's why they want to end up with the rich men. Because his name goes far and she could do whatever she wanted. Nobody will touch her because, she's Jeff Bezos' lady. Don't you get it, Z? I'm surprised Anton didn't catch on to that or he didn't say anything to that. That L'Oreal, a real man, see, a real man, yawn. To hell with society that's men and women, elders and youngers, with this a real man talk. White and black, with this real man talk, always trying to gaslight men into, or goading men or prodding men, yes, pun intended, prodding men into doing what is beneficial for women in the overall society and the tax base. F no. And what do men get for it? Shout out to Single by Choices, a bunch of blowed out, mean, condescending, rude, entitled, consumerist, materialistic women. That's what we get. That are in tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. That's what we get for upholding the society. Absolutely not. Dear women, you're not owed that. Absolutely not. Huh? Right?
He's right, you know.
I'm saying you're not owed that. Dear America, nope. You better tell your daughters to go bump vaginas. About a third of your black daughters already are. Ooh, goddamn, Z. Huh? So yeah, I listen to Rolo, and like I said, I'm taking this in a slightly different direction. These men are not likable. We don't have to be likable. We don't owe you that anymore. Goddamn, we never really owed it to you, to be honest with you. As BGS said, where is it? It was never owed. There you go. These men are not likable. Dear Leisha Miller, you have a fiance now. Good for you. You better don't come back out here. Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? These men haven't developed a personality. We don't owe you that either. Go take that up with the technocrats. Huh? Go take that up with your education system. Go take that up with your mainstream media. We don't owe you that either. Huh? Tell the men to do better. Men do better. We don't owe you that. Sorry, former First Lady Michelle Obama. Men do better. Nope, we don't owe you that. Better tell Sasha and Malia to get it how they live. We don't owe them that. Better tell them to end up with a white man. Huh? And you want to know why, or you want to know that other men are feeling and thinking this too? Because they're becoming more and more recluse. Huh? They're becoming more and more single. Passport bros. SYSBM for black men in specific. Uh-oh. Huh? And Nema says, as Patrice O'Neill had mentioned many times, women aren't entitled to anything. They don't appreciate when y'all obliterated that patriarchy, when y'all obliterated the social contracts, when when Nikki Giovanni said, how about I lead, or how about we do things my way now? Fine then. Y'all ripped up the social contract. Once again, check the meme. I mean, not check the meme. Check my thumbnail. Y'all ripped up the social contract. We don't owe you that anymore. We do not owe you that. Dear women, once again, we do not owe you that. What you got to say about it, Morgan Freeman?
Right,
And there you go. Huh? BGS says it's owed to married women that have taken vows. What that marriage rate look like right now, BGS? Uh-oh. What that marriage rate look like in the black community? Yikes. Translation, the vast majority of women, black women in specific, are not owed that. We didn't even mention divorce yet. Huh? These women are throwing a temper tantrum, mad at the world, because they can't find paymasters that, excuse me, that protect, provide, and shut up. That's their issue. They can't find paymasters that protect, provide, and shut up. They're done with their hot girl summer for some of them. And now they got the baby rabies and it's ringing off the hook. That biological clock is ringing off the goddamn hook. And now it's not fair that I can't meet men on my level. These men are not likable. They haven't developed a personality. They're so sexist and misogynistic. We don't owe you anything. Imagine the sex XX chromosome that has been saying to men how much they owe men nothing. Men are not owed nothing, absolutely nothing from them. Not a smile, not a compliment, not saying thank you if a man holds the door open for her. You definitely not entitled to her body. Okay, understandable. Huh? You're not entitled to her being kind. Drake made a whole song, nice for what for these ladies? Huh? So you're not owed her even being nice or cordial to you. You're owed nothing. Imagine the sex that celebrated every goddamn misandrist song for the past, I don't know, 50 years? Definitely past 40 years. Huh? Imagine that sex now turning around and throwing a goddamn temper tantrum like they're 7-year-olds. Because although Z is putting words to it and Rolo Tomasi put words to it, the men are showing you, oh, is that how it is? You owe me nothing? All right, bet. Huh? You owe me nothing? I bet. Watch this. You don't owe us kindness? We don't owe you marriage. Oops. You want to be autonomous? We don't owe you security. Yikes. Huh? Why are these men standing around and watching this man harass this woman on this train? We don't owe her security. God damn, Z. I'm not saying that's this is the way it should be. I'm saying that the women ripped up the social contract so they get what they get. Mr. Z has women in his life that he cares dearly about. And I would want nothing more than if something was happening to them that somebody, some man, jump and help them. But they also understand that the social contract then got ripped to shreds. So you better keep your mace in your pocket, in your bag, in your purse, right? And this is my point, L's active, exactly. LOL, I don't owe you my seat on the train. To that white woman in what was that? That was in what, the UK somewhere? All these men, they're watching. The women are standing up. I got here first. I don't owe you the seat. Now, if it's Z, let's be honest, Z gonna get up. Other men don't owe you the seat. Z don't owe you the seat. We don't owe you that. Dear women, you have said to us over and over and over again that we're all just people. It's just a good thing. And we said F the good thing. Oops. F the right thing. It's not a man thing. It's not a woman thing. Huh? Huh? Oh, we got a gold P sighting. What's going on, Go Professor? And Go Professor says, I've been saying, keep that same energy, brothers. Keep the same goddamn energy. Save your sanity, brothers, brother man. And shout out to Go Professor for those of you that don't know. So Mr. Z is going to say this every time, unless I forget. Go Professor was the first to suggest that Mr. Z start his own channel. That was a few years ago. And here we are, right? So if y'all ever have any hate, y'all send y'all hate mail to Go Professor. If y'all don't like the sound of Mr. Z's voice, y'all want to mush Z in the face, y'all go ahead and send y'all hate mail. Y'all tired of Z's schoolgirl giggling, y'all go ahead and send y'all hate mail to Go Professor, right? He is the one who tortured you with this, right? D Scott says they're old their old sausage. No, they're not even owed that. Nope, they're not even owed that. Look, I am not saying this is sustainable. I'm not saying this is what a society is made for. I'm not saying that you can maintain a community, a society, a nation, a country, a civilization this way. That is not what Z is saying, because quite frankly, you cannot. There is a certain level of obligation that everyone has to everyone if you want to maintain a somewhat harmonious, it doesn't exist, a somewhat harmonious civilization, society, nation, country, right, township, name them, community, tribe, etc., etc. But the women said F all that, and the men said, I bet. The women said they owe us nothing, and the men said, I bet. Heard you loud and clear. Huh? Heard you loud and clear. Now what? A bunch of complaining, crying in their cars, crying in their kitchen, crying in their room, crying after the club, complaining ass, temper tantrum throwing ass women. Where are the good men? We don't owe you good men, goddamn Z. These men are dusty. We don't owe you not being dusty. Huh? The audacity for me, we don't owe you not being audacious. Huh? These men are sassy. We don't owe you not being sassy. Huh? Too many of these men are LGBTQ. First of all, not true, especially in the black community. Women, check the statistics. Huh? Check the statistics. Ladies, it's really you. Huh? But to be fair, LGBTQ brothers don't owe you being straight. Go get it how you live. Go bump vaginas. Go end up with the white man, or go be, I don't know, girlfriend number 3 for the elite brothers. Girlfriend number 4 for the black men with some money. Dear ladies, this is what you signed up for. You didn't read the fine print. You're bad. Huh? All these strong, independent women still looking for a paymaster. Get out of here. We don't owe you that. Men don't owe you that. Black men don't owe you that. You better get it how you live. And I want to stress that this is not something that is sustainable. This is not, absolutely not how you maintain and forward and progress a community, especially the Black community that's already so put upon. But the women sit to hell with the Black community if I can't be a rich or elite white woman. Huh? Shout out to BGS, failed white woman. I'm a failed white woman, and it's all your fault, Black men. And Black men said, I bet you can have that. Right? Oh, well. Huh? And D Scott says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. D Scott says, you right, they have to earn these inches. D Scott, you get one of these.
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
And there y'all go. I told y'all, Mr. ZA 2025. I'm gonna make sure that it's worth it. Shout out to all of you. Actually, we gotta make a detour right now. Shout out to all of you for your patience with Mr. Z's not even tardiness. We just gonna call it what it is. Lateness. Shout out to all of you who have been bearing with Z and his being in the dead zone. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, and that Mr. Z saying train tracks in the middle of a statement. Yeah, shout out to all of the subscribers, the day ones. Yeah, so we just gonna hit the ground running in 2025. I'm gonna continue working on this page. I'm gonna get more memes, more funnies, more shorts. Yeah, so we just, you know, as rest in peace Kevin Samuels used to say, we gonna build it while we fly, or we gonna, yeah, I think that's how he said it. Yes, right. So yeah, um, and we're back. So stressing this, we don't owe you kick-ass men. Dear women, dear Black women in specific, Black men don't owe you kick-ass men. Mr. Z is not advocating for Black men out of spite to be bums, just to harm Black women. That's not constructive for Black men. But what Mr. Z is saying is we don't owe you going the extra mile, because when it's time to get married, when you're done with your hot girl summer, when you're not the cute chick in the club anymore, now it's time to find a husband, hair up, and have children so you can divorce him within 5 years if you're a Black woman. Goddamn. Wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Now that it's time to get married, now Black men owe you being kick-ass? Absolutely not. After you jumped off the carousel, now Black men owe you? Nope. After you did your swirler divester thing and white men kicked you off of White-a-Manjaro, now Black men owe you marriage? Nope. And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yours. Actually, yeah, let's say it again. Y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. Okay, this should be okay. And we're back. Yeah, yeah. Mr. J says piano power. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's it. That's exactly what it is. And I really, yeah, yeah, yeah. I found it. Oh wait, it's doing its own thing again. There we go. All right. Yeah. Found it, and I thought it would be a good enough little intermission song or a little let's pause right here song. Yeah. So yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, yep, yep. And Mr. Z ain't trying to get hit with the copyright, so I had to find something that we could kind of skirt that, but it was still enjoyable, but not too enjoyable. So there y'all go, right? And Indigo says, "Okay, I'm done with my 304 phase. Where's my man? First of all, sweetheart, let's be real. It wasn't a phase. Ooh, say that. Say that. Huh? Exactly. Right. So we have to be honest about that. We don't owe women anything, right? Especially not family, not your wife. And I want to be very clear, dear ladies, you have stressed to men that you owe us nothing. You don't even owe us kindness. You don't owe us being cordial. You don't owe us a smile. None of it. You don't even owe us a thank you. You owe us nothing. Not only have the women, the entire society has stressed that to men, black men in specific, that women, black women, owe you absolutely nothing. She owes you nothing. This society has been brutal with that towards men, towards boys. Huh? She doesn't owe you not being mean. She doesn't owe you not being rude. She does not owe you not being sassy. She does not owe you not being snarky, right? She doesn't even owe you not lying on you, huh? She owes you nothing. This society has been brutal with that when it comes to men. And the men in return say, I bet, right? The men in return said, I bet. And now, well, the ladies are looking embarrassed.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
And there you go. And there you go. You had Kevin Hart's wife on Madame Noir. You had L'Oreal up there. Who else you had up there? I think I saw Jesse Wu up there. And I'm glad they got to the part where, well, a real man, and you let them talk long enough, and they essentially said what that young lady on Daily Wrap Up Crew said: a real man provide, protects, and shut up. Translation, in their words, a real man will fund it, but he won't be insecure. He'll let you do your thing, and in other words, he'll fund it and let you run it. He'll provide you the security for your autonomy. Because these men feel like if they're putting money down, then they control you. They want to control you. And the problem with that is, huh? And dear ladies, and the problem here is, huh? Wow. And I'll read this one right now. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. The black men, black women are owed are the same black boys they didn't raise. Oh man. In most cases, the quote unquote good black men are here in spite of black women, not because of them. Say that. I don't know you. And if I don't know you, I don't owe you. And for that, we give him, wait for it, y'all, wait for it. And thank you for that, KMS. Thank you for that. Z, goddamn, how many did you download, Z? Huh? I told y'all shall never let Z figure out how to use this thing in the background. It's over now. Huh? I may not owe these ladies, but I definitely owe my subscribers. Right? I definitely owe my day one showing them that I'm progressing. Right? It ain't gonna be the same Mr. Z channel forever with the same old stuff. Yep. Trell said, "Aren't the good black men dead or in jail?" Huh? Isn't that what they say, Trell? Which lets you know what they think about black men and what black men they aspire to be with. Huh? And Red Falls Black says your boss controls you when they cut the check. When they cut that check, say that. Huh? And once again, Kevin said, I don't know you, and if I don't know you, I don't owe you. And that's something that the ladies are stressing, right? They owe you nothing. And I don't have a problem with the ladies telling us they owe us nothing. Dear ladies, we heard you loud and clear. Dear black women, we heard you loud and clear. You owe us nothing. You owe black men in specific nothing. Black men got to get it how they live. And you're going to be waiting at the finish line, maybe, for when the black men you desire cross it, and then you'll get with him. And those black men said, well, get it how you live. Right?
He's right, you know.
Get it how you live. Right? Oh boy. Good black men. Women aren't owed good men. Black women aren't owed good black men, especially when they didn't help to raise those men, especially when they're so goddamn antagonistic to those boys before they're men, to those young men before they're adult, really grown men, grown. So for the girls that are antagonistic to the boys, and for the young women that are antagonistic to the young men, you're not owed when you finally quote unquote mature, really when you hit the wall. And then you're looking for that husband that gets your jidey wet, you're not owed him. Right? This is something that is going to be a hard learn for ladies. For the women, it's going to be that's going to be difficult for them. All the independent boss chicks, or all the women that want to take this soft girl era and exaggerate it, you're not owed that. You're not owed the man when you finally come off of that stupor that nobody cares about your ego. Trell being funny. And Trell says, are you suggesting they groom the kind of men they want? Look at that. And y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Background. I'm sorry, y'all. And we're back. And we're back. Right? But yeah, Trell. The grooming and raising the boys to become men that these women would desire, I don't think they're not thinking that far. At the risk of proving KMS right about them being stupid, they're not thinking that far. They're not. They are Worried about their daughters. Okay, understandable. They're worried about the outcomes for their daughters. Maybe if she's a really good mom, the outcome for her individual son, maybe, possibly, maybe. But they're not. Mr. Z keeps on saying that. And shout out to all the parents out there, the Steve Harveys and the Shaqs of the world and all of these people. We don't owe your daughter being kick ass for her neither. You better go tell her to get it from the white man. Huh? It's a man's job to take care of some wife and kids. Nope. We don't owe you that or her that. Huh? We don't owe you that. I want to stress that to this society. We do not owe you marrying your daughters or taking care of your daughters, having children with your daughters that you raised to be these little snarky, mean, rude, condescending, entitled, spoiled brats. The buffer class because you're afraid of the men, working class men in specific. We do not owe you taking on your daughters. Nope. We don't owe you that, dear society. I recall seeing a segment from Fox News and Tucker Carlson was speaking. I want to say it was Fox in the morning, and he was like, it's a man's job, and da, da, da. He pretty much said the same thing that Steve Harvey said. A man, you develop confidence as you accomplish things and do things, which you know what, somewhat true. But he was going down that same lane of Steve Harvey, where it's a man's job to take care of a wife and kids. Those weren't his exact words. Same sentiment though. And to Tucker Carlson, I say no, nope. But I'm a black man. You don't care what I have to say. Guess what? The white men are saying the same thing. Oops. The younger white men said, nah, Tucker, you could keep all of them. Huh? And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That's going to be something this society has a very difficult time dealing with. And to be frank with you, dear ladies, and I said this the other day when I was speaking about Melissa Ford and this decenter man thing. This the same thing. Real talk with Yanni is 62% of black women are already single. Black women have the largest same-sex loving rate in America, right? They already. This is something that we all, or at least in the black manosphere, we know, right? That shows you that black men understand that black women have, excuse me, torn up the social contract. Black women have torn up the social contract between black men and black women, and this is black men's response to it: indifference, apathy, right?
He's right.
That's all it is. Uh-oh. Huh? So I want to stress that to everyone. Excuse me. Excuse me. Listening to Rolo, listening to BGS, and once again, links are in the description box. I did not put the Rolo clip because he's not Black Manosphere, yeah. But I didn't put the Rolo, and it's very it was a long segment from like some 3 hours long. And he, excuse me, he didn't he finally focused on the topic pretty much midway through. But once again, what are women owed? What are women owed? What are black women in specific owed? Huh? And BGS says black women have never centered black men. And guess what? That means they're not owed black men. They're not owed black men. Huh? They're not going to center us. It's every man or woman for themselves. Dear Black women, you don't seem like you're fighting this increasing or this society pushing folks to be atomized because it works for the capitalist bottom line. You don't look like you're fighting against that. Huh? So you get what you get, and you never centered Black men. Well, you get what you get. Look at these women. These are supposedly successful women on Madame Noir. You got Melissa Ford, and they're telling you how strong and independent they are while they're looking for a paymaster. Is there any wonder why the marriage rate goes once again? 26% of poor Americans are married, 39% of working class Americans are married, 56% of middle class and above. Let's say that again. 26% of poor Americans are married, 39% of middle class, 26% of poor Americans, 39% of working class Americans, 56% of middle class Americans and above are married. Because the lady said that they want some semblance of autonomy and security simultaneously. And the only people that can kind of sort of play that out are the men at the top, and the farther up you go. And Rolo looked like he was entertaining that. He got real close to going in that lane, and he kind of steered off from it a little bit. Huh? If the women want to practice classism and only elite men deserve marriage, they'll have oops babies with whoever they find attractive. But only the elite men deserve marriage. Only the elite men deserve marriage and not divorce, or at least a longer marriage. The men said, I bet. Right? Right? Exactly. And KMS says, correct, BGS. And the fruits of their labor is a tree that bears no fruit. That's where they are now. That's where the ladies are. That's, oh, well, so be it. They're bad. And this is the way it should stay. This is the way it should stay until these women change, but they're not going to. Not anytime soon, anyway. Not enough, anyway. Imagine being on a channel called Madame Noir and saying that these men think that if they spend money on you, they have power over you. Yes. And the problem with that is these women really think they can reverse psychology, shame you. Once again, sign language, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Think they can shame you into providing for them. Once again, provide, protect, and shut up. Providing for them and letting them do their own thing. Absolutely not. Aren't all of you doing well financially? All right, then. Huh? And Java Joe says, if Tom Brady if Tom Brady can get divorced, what chances does a regular Joe have? Well, Morgan.
He's right, you know.
Hey, Morgan Freeman had something to say about it. Say it again, Morgan Freeman.
He's right, you know.
Hey, that's the question. But this is about the trend, Java. This is about who's more likely to get divorced first. Who's more likely to get married? Because you got to get married first before you can get divorced. Who's more likely to get married? Who's more likely to have a longer marriage, and then who's less likely to get divorced. And all of those trends trend towards the people towards the top of the income distribution, the people at the top of the class hierarchy, the people at the top of the wealth hierarchy are the ones that are more likely to get married and the ones that are less likely to get divorced. Now, when you couple that with the fact that women file for between 70 and 80% of divorces, and if she's college educated, 90% of divorces, this is really a function of the way women see men. This is not about men. Now, your cowardly technocrats refuse to kind of say that. The only one that says it and gets it, that really stresses this, is Dr. Richard Reeves. But then for him, he's still trying to get you to sign up for a raw deal. Absolutely not. Well, that's true. Yeah, BGS. Except for black women. Black women divorce their men across the across the income scale, class scale. It don't matter, and they don't get married across. By the way, so BGS is right about that. Right? Just saying. Yeah. And global free agents says that wealth hierarchy is becoming more exclusive. Supposedly, a third of, was it women or young folks, are not going to get married. I can't recall if it was women in general. This is not specific to black women, but a third of Americans, I want to say, are slated to not get married. And just a few decades ago, it was 1/5. Now it's a third. So go into what you're saying. So this is not even about who's going to get married and get divorced. Before we even get to who's going to get married and get divorced, we already know that, and I don't know when the age mark was for quote unquote young people, but yeah, a third of young folks are slated to not be married or not to ever get married. These people are able to predict the technocrats, whoever the statisticians are, whoever the hell, are able to track this. They already know what's going on. They know what environment they created. Once again, the zip code map that show you that they can almost predict what the likeliness of your well, how your future is going to look financially, educationally, more than likely based off of the zip code that you were born and raised in. Yikes. And BGS is educated black women are less likely to marry. Once again, right? Say that one more again. For all of you that hear that pause, it's check the statistics from Man's Not Hot. Don't worry, I'm working on it. I'll get the actual sound of him saying it. Hopefully by next stream, right? Oh, and I deleted it. Oh, I'll post it back up. And Emerald Edge says, if you don't mind, do you remember that link for the Snow Bunny video needed for research? I'll post it in my description box after the stream. That's what I'll try to do. I'll try to post it in the description box after the stream, and hopefully that will um hopefully you'll be able to get it from there. But for now, and if you give me 1 second, give me 1 second. I'm trying to see something. Trying to see if I can play it for you now. I did delete it. I'm looking for it right now. Actually, you know what? While we do that, instead of y'all hearing me hearing silence. Oh, there we go. Here we go. All right, here you go. Here it goes, but I'll put the link in the description box afterward.
The Black Kings get divorced, and then what happens? They're like, it. We're moving on. Snow bunnies are going to clean me right out. So the snow bunnies get on top of things, and they mix, and they have this beautiful baby, and the process continues. So I do find that Black Kings often go to Black Queens first, and then they're like, snow bunny time. They'll either divorce them, dump them, and then move on. Swiftly move on. And they'll feel all cleansed, you know? Right. Anyway, on that note, do you like my nails? They're very Christmassy. It's almost Christmas. Divorce season's round the corner, which means snow bunnies warm in January. Yes.
And black women, are you not embarrassed?
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I'm just saying. I'm saying. Right? International Rona says Z is keeping this video forever. Look, there's a, if oh man, I there's such an archive of videos that now that I know what I'm, well, don't even really know what I'm doing like that, but now that I have an idea of how to kind of work certain things in the back of StreamYards, there's so much I regret not downloading, not saving, not yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, right? And Emerald Edge says, and thank you for the super chat. And he says, appreciated. Thank you, sir. And you get a
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
right. And thank you for that. And thank you for that, right? Man. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? Well, before I even finish this statement, and I guess I'll read this one now. And once again, Emerald Edge, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description. It's a TikTok video. So now that Mr. Z has this, I guess I'll open up, especially if y'all see TikToks that y'all want me to review, email it to me. And what we're gonna start doing is, I guess I'll try to set out a day a week where we go through TikTok videos, um, and I'll try to have them already downloaded and ready, set to go. So we'll review it, we'll talk about it, um, and depending on how long the stream is, I'll try to knock out maybe two or three a video, especially for my streams that are about a 2 hours long, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, right? Yeah, thank Trell. Let's put it in the book. So that's what it's gonna be called, Z clips. Yeah, Trell. Thank you. So, Trell already gave me the title for it. Thank you, Trell. Yeah, Z clips, and so we'll do that. Now that I kind of have an idea, and that way, because it was kind of getting a bit taxing. Not being able to show y'all, especially with the because the longer stuff from YouTube is a bit more difficult, especially because y'all know Mr. Z. I tend to be using my phone. Y'all already know reckless streams. By the way, this is a reckless streams. Reckless streams. Y'all already know, like, I have to have something that's a bit more compact so that I can show it to you guys while we're speaking. So yeah, y'all already know. Yeah, and meme Z. The one is Z clips or meme Z. That's that. I'm gonna have to flip a coin on that one because both of those fit. Um, but yeah, so we'll do that, and yeah, y'all start sending me TikToks y'all want me to speak about, and I'll get my bullet points ready, and have the bullet points and freestyle, right? So yeah, wow. And Java Joe says, and thank you for the super chat. Not to derail the conversation, but can you expound on where the idea originated that the black woman is better than black men? I think that's a BGS question, to be honest with you. Um, I think that might come from the plantation, but if you think about black women being seen as the breeders, but they weren't the breeders. It was the men that were the breeders, right? But they were the ones, especially when America could no longer import slaves, and like the last few decades when they did import black women so that they can make them like the incubator for black babies. Maybe that's when it happened. But I think that's more of a BGS question. He probably knows that far better than I do, right? Far, far, far better than I do. But once again, for your super chat, Java Joe, thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. You get a right. So yeah, but yeah. So and then you have to recall, like, also, and BGS has informed us of this, black women have known how to read more, have been taught how to read more than black men. Um, they're allowed in certain white spaces that black men aren't necessarily allowed in, and quite frankly, they're seen as less of a threat than black men are, right? So you couple all of that, they were able to kind of forge this Faustian bargain with white women, Pauli Murray and whatnot, um, Eleanor Roosevelt. Um, and they were able to just form this kind of, I guess, pseudo pact, because white women end up stabbing in the back, which black women should have known was going to happen. And this is, I would say, what enabled that mindset that they are better, right, than black men. And you couple that with black women attending college more than black men. You couple that with black women not being incarcerated at nearly the rate of black men, right? And just the difference in being an out-group woman compared to being an out-group man. And you couple all those things together, and now black women have to come to terms with what that means when they think that they're better than black men, and black men disagree. Maybe not all of us, though, right? What happens when you think you're better than the opposite sex? You got to eat what that means on the other end of that. What you think you're going to do is convince enough of the opposite sex that you truly are better than them, that you end up getting benefits and gifts and rewards and deference that you wouldn't get in a different situation. And that doesn't end up actually working for black women in the long haul.
He's right, you know.
Just saying, right? Just saying. Exactly. And Indigo says, better, what's the criteria? Exactly. What's the criteria? And Kunguru says, black women had more access to whites on a social level than black men did. So unfortunately, they saw that as level up over black men. Once again, hey,
He's right, you know.
huh? Man. So that's the cost. The ladies are just eating the cost of that. And once again, we don't owe them being kick ass for them. Men don't owe women writ large. Black men don't owe black women, right? We do not. And the women are having a meltdown. The society's trying to goad us and shame us into doing. I want to actually go over that article. I think someone made mention of it, where Dr. Richard Reeves is speaking on essentially for millennials, I guess in Gen Z, what looked like it was going to be kind of like a late start, like the age of launch was just going to get pushed back a bit, and but millennials were still going to be able to be okay towards the pretty much this time of their life, around 40. It looks like no, this is the way it's going to be for millennials, and it's probably going to be that way for Gen Z too. Which is there isn't a later age of launch; it's just that they never launch, right? So I'm gonna look for that article and see what he's getting at, and I might be reviewing that soon enough. So I'll let you guys know, right? Oh man, right? But Java Joe, once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? So Mr. Z, like I said, we're gonna keep on working on this channel, building it, changing it. I'm gonna keep on messing with different things, and I just want to make this experience more enjoyable. Um, And like we say here, this is not about hating on black women. This is not about hating women writ large, but it is to say that this society created a very specific type of woman over the past few decades. And now the charges have come due, right? Now the charges have come due. And this society is trying to shame the men into signing up for women who are in tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt and who are mean, snarky, condescending a-holes. Just saying, right? Just saying. Huh. Incongruous says, also, Jason Black says interracial sexual access is a driving force for coons, but he only attributes that to us tethers. It's really black women at large, though. I can appreciate Jason Black's angle. I think Jason Black knows better, and I get where Jason Black and Tariq are trying to do. Will it work? Um, there's something about hazing the newcomer. There's something about going over the top to establish a hierarchy or dominance. There's something about not really maybe believing in something, but kind of speaking that way so you can establish a narrative. This is a woman of color thing when it comes to white men in particular. This is about what they see, what's in their imagination about manhood, masculinity, whiteness, the racial hierarchy, racial hypergamy, etc., etc. Regardless of background, I would argue, are Black American women, ADOS FBA women, are they more understanding that they probably won't land the white man as a marriage? I would argue probably yes. I would argue yes. Now, is that a huge difference? Maybe not. Is it a difference? Yes. Is it a huge difference? No. Women of color writ large are willing to bargain their vagina, I would argue, for the off chance that that white man eventually marries them. Not just have sex with them, not have a oops baby with them because she won't delete the unborn child because once again this is going to be a mixed white baby. And that once again this is not exclusive to black women, I'm saying. And I think our society has a really difficult time coming to terms with women may not be, especially women of color, may not be as anti white patriarchy as y'all think they are. Huh? I want to be very clear. Once again, women, specifically women of color, may not be, right? They may not be as anti patriarchy as y'all think they are. Especially, and I'm gonna find that clip. As a matter of fact, if somebody could find it, send it to me, the original, because I think I saw the video clip on TSG's channel or somebody's channel. I want to find the original so that I could use it as a sound drop or a video drop. More likely a video drop so that people could actually see her saying it. The clip where the young, and I reviewed it a few days ago. The clip where the young lady was saying, a white lady was saying, if it benefits me, is it patriarchy or is it a man just being generous or something like that, she said. So if anybody can find that original clip, please send it to Z. Once again, my email is always in the description box. Send it to Z so that, because I'm going to use that. That's going to be a constant clip on this channel, right? Because we need to stress and we need to remind these people of what we're actually dealing with. The women aren't anti-patriarchy. They just want a benevolent patriarchy. It really, men in general, black men specifically, to provide, protect, and shut up. Once again, patriarchy by feminist specifications. When a woman says, once again, what the young lady said, white young lady said, is it really, when it benefits me or something like that, if it benefits me, is it really patriarchy or is it a helping hand or is it a man being generous? Something like that, she said, right? Translate that for everyone, Z. Patriarchy by feminist specifications. God damn, Trill, with the ideas, Trill. I feel like I'm gonna owe you money, Trill. You need to stop. I feel like I'm gonna owe you money, Trill. And Trill says, send it to Z is a great show name. God damn, Trill. Hey, Trill. That might be, that's what we're gonna title the video clips from no. Z clip. No, you know what? Yeah, that's better than Z clips and meme Z. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Send it to Z is better. Yeah, that's what we're gonna name the clips that brothers are gonna send me from TikTok. That's what we're gonna call it. That's what we're gonna call it. Send it to Z. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Trail, for that one. That's what we're gonna call it. That's good. That's good. That's the title. Right. That's the title. Right. And if the clips are old, we'll call it minute late reviews. Right. Shout out to Joe's. Um, yeah. Right. Shout out to Joe's. Shout out to Dre. We're gonna call it minute late reviews if it's older clips, but it doesn't matter. I will review them and we'll get to it. Right. Man, wait a minute. And Nema says not just a mixed baby, Z, but preferably a baby that passes for white, passe blanc, or passe noir, and still real things. Yeah, that passe blanc. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. That really is the goal, right? That really is the goal. I actually agree with you on that one, right? And I think that's something that you see these people have been supposedly anti-patriarchy, emphasis on the word supposedly anti-patriarchy, and the women through actions. I said this to FD, and he said, "No, that's not true." Right? The women are showing you through actions that they're not actually anti-patriarchy. They're not actually anti-patriarchy. And I'm gonna play that clip from that white woman over and over and over and over and over again. And next time FD's on my channel, if he's ever on my channel, I will play that clip. Y'all remind me, be in the comments yelling it. If it benefits me, is it patriarchy or is it a handout or whatever, however she phrased it? Huh? We have to emphasize that this mindset is what's leading to a downfall in America, in the West. I've stressed this, I've said this, let's say it again for the beginning of 2025. We're not just talking here. This is not just some pop culture crap. This is not just, at least for Z, this is not just some gender warring crap, right? And you're starting to hear the technocrats say it too. Yeah, people not coupling up is leading to some really disastrous, deleterious, whatever word you want to use, problems. We're having some. This is we are not prepared for. We want single people for the money, but we don't want single people because of the money and the stability. Too many single people, not a stable society. Too many single men, maybe a dangerous society. Too many single white men, especially. Huh? Oh boy. So yeah, Jamba Joe. Yeah, these ladies are they think they're better for a multitude of reasons, and plus, to be honest with you, do black women really think they're better than black men? Maybe, yeah, I would say yes. Um, but another thing is, I would argue that's their coping mechanism, brother. That's their coping. That's their coping. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find that and post that in the. That might be a sound drop also. And Mr. Shukti says progressive traditionalism. Yep, yep. Uh-oh. And L says, I've been saving Massandra's Insta post from like 2020. Oh boy, I'm gonna get flooded. Huh? Rightfully. And you should be saving them. As you should be. Right? Because too many are acting like and pretending like we're making things up here. And like we just want to antagonize, as Kim Foster said, we just want to antagonize the women. Are you sure that we're the ones that want to antagonize the women? Because the ladies are talking real crazy. The women are talking real crazy, and I don't hear you say anything when they
He's
do.
right, you know.
I'm saying antagonize. The ladies are out here And one of the women that you kind of run into circles with, Miss Foster, Keating Jade, out here calling black men bullet bags. And are you not?
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I'm saying. I'm saying. Huh? Somebody tells you he's wrong. And Kangaroo says, "Hey Z, do you think younger millennial and Gen Z white men are feeling the burden of their so-called white man status that they are failing to capitalize on?" Ooh, probably for every white man under the top third, right? Under the top third, probably, right? Because the top third is where you get to real stability, maybe the top 40%. And definitely when you get in the top 20%, 25% of white men, that's when you really start, being pretty good in life. The top 20, you're really good in life. Obviously, when you get in the top 10 and above, they're great, right? But yeah, because the expectation is that pretty much all white men outside of like the bummiest, crummiest meth head is like kick ass in life. And just the numbers don't reflect that, right? And so there is a burden on white men's shoulders to perform like what their skin color implies that, or the status that their skin color implies because of their forefathers, excuse me. And yeah, right. And so yeah, but to white men I say this is your fault. You don't push back. You don't tell women, hey, I'm just a human being. You don't tell them, hey, half of what my forefathers got is because they stole it from your forefathers. Oops, right? I'm floating on a cloud of yesteryear and what my forefathers stole from your forefathers, engraved and pillaged and etc. I don't really got it like that. And if I'm not getting any inheritance, then I'm screwed. Instead of white men being honest, I don't ever expect them to do that. They gamble with whether they're going to be left with life insurance money or the house or the classic muscle car that they can turn around and sell because they're not even into cars like that, right? If they're going to get in life financial transfers from parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, right? So yeah, no, the white men are feeling that crunch also, but so be it, right? So be it. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest with the ladies. You're throwing the white men are throwing a temper tantrum too because they think you can bring this back. This is what Trump election was for them in many respects. They think you can go back to the 1950s. You can't go back to the 1950s when the rest of the world has caught up to the U.S. economy. Not really the GDP, but the rest of the world hasn't been bombed to crap anymore. The rest of the world isn't bombed to crap anymore. The developing world, well, once again, is developing. Huh? And technology is democratizing many of these things. If y'all don't lock that technology down with a patent and lock box it and throw the key away, technology is helping other nations to catch up a bit faster. And then white guys are feeling that. Huh? That's a good song to play. And Guru says, Alexa, play Ghost of You by Chemical Romance. That's funny. Huh? And whatever America could have finagled and did right as other nations catch up, whatever America could have finagled and did right by its average citizens, as America slowly drifts downward, inch by inch, other people, other nations start to play around with other reserve currencies, maybe, or the BRICS obviously form and they challenge the US dollar. Whatever America could have done to bolster up that middle class, it gave to the uber wealthy. It literally gave the future of its kids to the uber wealthy and let them run out the back door. Meanwhile, Patrick Bet David, old bum ass, over here talking about 80-hour work weeks if you want to be CEO and if you want to run things. Your average American don't want none of that. They don't care about it. Your average American is perfectly okay with their 4Runner or their RAV4 or their Toyota Highlander, their Honda Accord, a house, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 car garage on a quarter acre, and they're good. They're good. They get to go to the movies maybe once every other week. They go to their child's pickup game. They're able to put their daughter in some type of activity, maybe piano lessons. Their son is plays soccer, football or something, football and football, right? Uh, their wife takes some type of yoga class. He has a F-150 with a lift kit, and he's good. He don't care about being no goddamn CEO. We literally came full circle, and we're really back in the Gilded Age with these weirdo wealthy people talking crap. Translation, let me translate that for everyone because someone said it. I've said it before. I've heard another person say it. Let me say it again too. Um, Listen, this idea that if you don't work yourself to the bone, if you don't walk into your house huffing and puffing after a long day of work, 14-hour work days, Mr. Z is already doing this. If you're not a zombie, right? If you don't spend every waking moment chasing after every single penny, then you deserve nothing. I want y'all to understand that is what y'all are saying. And if that's not what you're meaning to say, that is what you mean to say. That's how it's coming off. That's what you're conveying. That's the message. I want you to understand that is not going to turn out good for you and your children. Huh? This idea that you get a time of leisure after you become a billionaire, after you become uber wealthy, after you can buy politicians, I'm sorry, lobby politicians, then maybe you deserve vacations. Huh? Tied to the topic at hand. After you can make your wife a stay-at-home mother at the highest level if she wants that, if she doesn't want to be power couple. After you're able to achieve that, then maybe you could sit down for a week or two for vacation. And even your vacations are somehow tied to work. Huh? You got to be a master of the universe for you to enjoy life first. This is Protestant work ethic on steroids. Huh? Huh? Exactly, Cam. That's John Henryism. And y'all gives you a second background. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gives you a second. All right, we're back, y'all. My apologies. Right? But yeah, that idea is just dead in the water. No one's trying to do that. No one is. Look, we do not care to be CEOs making $500,000 a year, because that's what you need to live now. Come and look. This is some weird. I've heard black men kind of talk about this too. I've heard black men go in this direction also. Huh? I've heard black men kind of go that in this direction also. This is some dangerous stuff. Are these people? It's crazy because you wonder if these people are students of history. Huh? You wonder if these people are students of history or not. The idea that if every moment of your life is not thinking about how are you going to increase the profits of the company, or how are you going to become one of the board members, or how are you going to start a business, how are you going to become a millionaire or billionaire, then you deserve what you get. You deserve poverty. You deserve poverty if you're not trying to be rich. Wait, what? There's not a middle class. There's not a, you know what? I like to enjoy my weekends. I like to raise my family. I like to be involved with my son and my daughter. I want to be a present father. You don't get to be that, huh? You get to paper over, shout out to Army Osei Frempong, you get to paper over the flaws of your children with the money that you made because you're rich. Because you weren't there. Shout out to Cameron. You wasn't there. You weren't there. So you get rich enough to paper over your children's flaws with the money. You get connected enough to paper over your children's flaws with the money. Ain't that right, Joe Biden? Goddamn Z. Huh? Huh? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That's where we are with it. That is where we are with it. And like, that is where America is. And then you couple that with the ladies who, and this is why it's like a two-prong attack on your average man. Because then the ladies are turning around and they're graduating with their college degrees and saying, where's the men on my level? And with these men, they need to grow up. And these men are not likable. So when you have the a-hole elite men plus the women who sound like this, right? And how it's not fair. And you have the Michelle Obamas of the world saying men need to do better. And then you wonder why the men said, yeah, I'll just be a minimalist. I'll just MGTOW, right? You wonder how we get there? Absolutely not. Men are not signing up for that.
He's right, you know.
Just saying, right? And I said, Telescope says, you can bribe your kids with cash and prizes in exchange for you not being there as a dad. Say that, right? And Kunguru says, I told my workaholic cousin that I refused to be that dude on his deathbed, proud that he never called out of work, called out from work, right? Man. And Cameron says, Z playing Korean soap opera music, outro music. No, actually, so that is a. I found it. I don't want to kind of say too much because let's just say it is a cover of um Power um from Kanye, and the pianist may or may not be Asian. We'll say may or may not be Asian. So you're close-ish. You're close-ish, KMS. You're close-ish, right? Better use his. This nigga got a whole got hold music. He made your hysterical. GC said fancy ass, right? Oh yeah. Exactly. And like, and that goes to what we say here. And L's active says, I think it was, and it was, I think it was a, I think it was on Kendra G's show that a girl told a doctor, why doesn't he have any side hustles? And she likes a guy with ambition. So once again, these are the people, the women who have bought into this idea. They don't question it. They just go along with it and then hold you to that standard. They don't question the standard, right? Now, is this all women? No, because let's be very clear. You see women and you have heard women. Shout out to Fab Socialism, and others who have spoken about I don't dream of labor. Now, they're usually talking about themselves individually or and other women. They're not no, necessarily talking about the men, but sometimes they're talking about overall society, right? They are including the men in that conversation, right? Sometimes they are including the men in that conversation. So you do. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. You do have women who are spouting the I don't dream of labor. I don't want this. I don't want to have to work myself to the bone. And then and anytime I'm not thinking about a dollar, I'm not chasing after a dollar. I'm not trying to goad and encourage my man to work himself to death for a dollar. Then I'm not deserving of anything. If I don't dream of money, if I don't fantasize about money, if I'm not chasing after money every single second of every single day, then I'm not deserving of anything, right? And the elites would love to tell you that because they know it's not possible. And so anytime that you are caught snoozing, anytime you are caught sitting down, they want to say, you see, and that's why you don't have anything. That's why I have all these riches. That's why I'm wealthy, and that's why you're not. Because every minute of the day for me is worried about optimizing my business, being more efficient, more effective, doing the best with the time that I have. And you, on the other hand, you want to sleep. You want to sit down. You want to quote unquote enjoy life, right? Oh man, now that's frightening, huh? Because it's the extremes, right? It's the wait a minute. You actually are talking about rights in human rights and civil rights? You're actually talking about work life balance? Like, did some millennials take this work life balance talk way too far? Absolutely. But is the concept of work life balance a bad concept? No. Does your employer owe you work life balance? Not necessarily until the government says yes. Huh? No, not necessarily until the government says yes. But until people fight, because all they did was claw back the 40-hour work week by just making it that you pretty much need two jobs with the average salary, you pretty much need two jobs to maintain yourself. So that was their way of skirting, and I'm talking about the elites here, skirting the 40-hour work week, right? The 40-hour work week, average man able to afford an average house on an average salary, right? And because the elites took all the goddamn trillions off the table, right? When they said the top 1% have the same wealth as like the bottom 40 or something crazy. Even if it's not the bottom 40, it's still some insane number. The top 10%, I think, or 5%, I think it was the top 10% have like 80% of the wealth. Some stupid number. Stupid, right? And like when you see numbers like that, what are people supposed to do exactly with that? Right? And let me read this one now. An Inspired Truth Broadcast says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. An Inspired Truth Broadcast says, work life balance post cell phone was necessary. And you are correct, sir. And for that, you get a.
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
And thank you for that, right? And yes, right? Yeah. And you tie that to what the ladies are saying and what they feel like they're owed and what society feel like it's owed, right? Let's be very clear. The women, I would argue, are only vocalizing what a lot of this society, including the elite men, are on. They really feel like, and emphasis on the word feel, like working class men, lower middle class men, maybe even solidly middle class men, working poor men owe them working to death, right? And shout out to Vivek, and shout out to Elon, and shout out to Patrick Bet David, who are essentially espousing this. I can't exploit you, so I don't want you. God damn. Dear ladies, y'all talk like that's how we talking to y'all. That is not what we're saying, especially not black men. Shout out to all the women who act like black men are Elon, right? That's what Elon and them are saying. I can't exploit you, so I don't want you. Let me go get the Indian. Huh? You want to talk about hegemonic rule and hegemonic power and taking advantage of people and slaves. And shout out to Melissa for unpaid sex work. Marriage is unpaid sex work. Meanwhile, Elon is showing you what unpaid or minimal paid or least paid actually looks like. And you should be.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I'm just saying. Huh? Mr. Z, you just gonna be hitting all these? Yes, yes, Mr. Z is. Yes. Absolutely yes. Right? So yeah, as Inspired Truth says, work-life balance post cell phone was necessary. But these people want you to work yourself to death. The women and these elites want you to work yourself to death, die so that they can pass on your social security to the women who weren't working themselves to death, and they're gonna live for another goddamn 20 years after you're dead. That same young lady that was in high school with you and college with you, or she worked with you in some white collar field, blue collar definitely field, but white collar field, you're out of here because you worked yourself to death. You're out of here by 60, 65. She filed for Social Security at 67, and she here for another 15 years. Huh? She don't die till 82. She don't die till 85. She don't die until 77. You've been dead since 60 years old. 65 if you're lucky. And they want you to sign up for that. Elon and them are trying to live as long as goddamn Jimmy Carter did. 40 years past your death. Huh? If anybody, for the love of God, if y'all could find, because Dr. T covered it, but he covered it, when are we in 2024? He covered this maybe like 2019, maybe 2020. Um, it was a tweet from a lady, black woman, who said, "I miss the days when men would work, die, and leave you their life insurance money, and that benefits like everyone but you who's no longer here." Huh? If we're gonna call a thing a thing. But once again, Inspired Truth, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? And Cyrus Burke says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Cyrus Burke says, Street ninjas who finally get into the six-figure tax bracket after decades of struggling usually have that hyperbolic worldview of the perpetual grind. Bro, first let's give you this.
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
And thank you for that, right? And yes, right? And you see that with rappers, you see that with, like you said, street dudes. You see that with Anton sometimes. Um, you see that with a number of brothers who like that's their thing. They enjoy that, and no one is saying that I should have as much as you, what while I don't work as hard as you, right? I'm not saying that. I want to be very clear. Let's balance this out. Mr. Z is not saying, implying, suggesting, and I do not believe that if I am comfortable and what is best for me is 40-hour work weeks and maybe the off week when I work 48 hours, that I should have as much wealth and access and status as the person who enjoys working 60 plus hours a week. That is not what Z is saying. What I am saying is the person who enjoys 70-hour goddamn work weeks doesn't get to then turn around and say, I deserve nothing. The bare minimum at best. But really, I deserve nothing because I don't move and think about work as he does, right? Because once again, taking this from the ladies, because I don't dream of labor, and because the average American doesn't dream of labor, they're deserving of nothing. And this is an issue. The 60, 65, 70 plus hour a week people in America speak of others, although Z's doing similar hours, they speak of others like, oh, you're deserving of nothing because you don't move like me. Huh? That's how they speak. You're deserving of nothing because you don't move like me, because you don't think like me, because you don't think about the world like me, because you don't care about wealth as much as I do. So you get, and they turn around and pretty much say to the rest of us, you get what you get, nothing. You're not deserving of a wife and kids and what was it? White picket fence, 2.3 kids with the house in the burbs. You're not deserving of that because you're not trying to work 60, 70 hours a week plus. And to be frank with you, low key, that's what the ladies are kind of saying too. Ooh, huh? God damn, Telescope. And Telescope says, to your grandkids, you'll just be, once again, let's read that again. And Telescope says, to your grandkids, you'll just be that dead dude on the family's digital photo frame. Jesus Christ. Say it with me now, Morgan.
He's right, you know.
Jeez. Say that. Huh? Exactly. Exactly, Telescope. Exactly. Huh? And that's true. Man. And Grab Second Gear says, so these washed up 304s wanted company, so they're saying marriage is um what am I gonna say? Marriage is sex work. I'm done. Yeah, yeah. Unpaid sex work, actually. Not just sex work, but unpaid sex work. You gotta love listening to women, namely black women, adopt a neoliberal, Milton Friedman esque worldview about relationships and intimacy, and then say that any type of pleasure they provide you should be monetized. Just like there's been a financialization of this economy over the past few decades, the women said, we're going to financialize relationships also. Now, is that working for women? Absolutely not. And they should really be.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
That's what really should be going on. Huh? And you really, feminists love saying that. Now, if we start talking about the unpaid labor, the unpaid emotional labor, et cetera, because women swear they're the ones with they're doing all the heavy lifting emotional labor, right? They're doing all of the heavy lifting emotional labor. If men started atomizing and putting a cost to the things that we do that women take for granted or don't even consider as labor, emotional labor, mental, the therapist, just the listening ear while she gives you a rundown of what happened to her at work today. If men started atomizing that and putting a price tag on it, the women wouldn't know what to do because they take it for granted. They take it for granted, and they think they can keep on gaslighting us with how much they do and that we do nothing. I don't. Once again, especially for black women, I don't know what pseudo white man thing black women are on, but they talk about black men like it's a 1-to-1 with white men, weaponizing competence, talking all that crap. Right? Better use this build as you fly, ladies and gentlemen. We have a plane. Oh man, thank you for that, better you. Huh? Thank you, Indigo. Unpaid security, bodyguard work. Exactly. Huh? Els Actor says they would be in a debt spiral for eternity. Els, aren't they already in a debt spiral? Huh? Between the credit card debt, the student loan debt, the auto loan debt, aren't they already in a debt spiral? The store card's debt, the credit card from Target, the credit card from Walmart, the credit card from name them JC Penney's or whatever the hell retail store. Right. The ladies are already in a debt spiral. The fact that they could barely afford this home, but they bought it anyway, so now they're going to be paying this home off by themselves for the next 30 years if they can actually keep on and hold on to it for the next 30 years by themselves, by the way, by their self. The ladies are already in a debt spiral. Say it again with me now, Mr. Freeman.
He's right, you know.
Just saying. Huh? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Saint Sears says debt hole. Say that. Huh? But as Cyrus Burke said, some of these brothers get into this tax bracket, they're doing well financially, and now all it is hustle, hustle work. Hustle, hustle, hustle. That's all they got. It's like we done fell back to what 05, 06, Rick Ross hustle hard. That's all they got for you. That's all they got for you. They can't tell you nothing but hustle, right? And like this goes back to what Z says often. Outliers are just doing way too much talking. The outliers are just doing way, 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 way too much talking. The brothers that hustled or that got a small loan from a parent they really never talk about, or from a grandparent or from an aunt and uncle, and they started up that business, that corner store, and now it's making them stable money and a little bit above stable money. But they never tell you that that was it. They never tell you the startup capital was that he was one of these D boys on the streets for a couple years. They never tell you that he never got caught or whatnot. He got out the game clean. He never tell you that part, huh? They just tell you hustle, 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 huh? And then these same people then turn around and pretend like they don't understand why you and that young lady aren't having children, why you and that young lady aren't getting married. So before we even get to her mindset being trash, how are y'all supposed to go on dates, get married, have children, raise productive, tax paying citizens who are not a menace on society, a menace to society, when you can't even put the time investment in? Oh, wait a minute, Z. Would that maybe also explain why a certain demographic, a certain tax bracket are the ones who are getting married and staying married, while the others get married and get divorced, and the others never get married in the first place? Uh-oh. Can it not also be character flaw in the women? I said it. Can it also be that how are the men and the women supposed to meet, then couple, then marry, then have children and raise productive children in an environment that demands that both of them work themselves to the bone?
He's right, you know.
I'm saying, huh? Hey, and Big Mo says they are all 304s until it's time to get married. And
He's right, you know.
I'm just saying, right? And Kaguru says, I know a YouTuber who is exactly that guy. There's a few of them. There's a few of them. There's a few of them that's purple pill. There's a few of them that's black manosphere. There's a few of them that's black manosphere adjacent, right? Maybe they see something or have a plan, and I'm just too slow on the uptake to appreciate it or comprehend it. But how is this supposed to work? Huh? These are, mind you, the women. This is the when it gets funny. The women encourage this, but then they don't appreciate age gap dating. God damn, see. How long before all of that time and energy that he put into his work actually pays off, and now he can slow down with the hours that he puts in when he's in his late 30s, maybe 40s, maybe early mid 40s? When women's biological clock is pretty much done. Oh, so how is this supposed to work now? Now do you understand why he's dealing with that 28-year-old? Ooh, ooh. Ladies, are you doing the math? Huh? Ain't nobody doing the math. Huh? Just saying. And Saint Cyr says, Z, I got called a quote unquote creep for chatting up a 24-year-old that stepped to me at 29. They're unhinged. You know, the women are just talking. Oh, Trail, that's coming up soon too. Quick math, yeah, that's coming up. Don't worry, there's a lot from Man's Not Hot Pause that yeah I'm clipping up a bunch of sound clips from that. Don't worry about it. On its way. Math, not math. Math, better yet, not math. Right. But yeah, Saint Cyr, look, they're just talking. The ladies are just talking. They're being antagonistic, and they're just talking. Right? They're just talking. There's a clip of I want to say maybe she was white or Latina, like white passing Latina, and she was on the beach, I want to say, and they asked her like, what does she look for in a man? She was young, but probably like early 20s, and like she went down her list, and it was like very shallow look stuff. Okay, that's understandable. You're in your early 20s. That's what matters, right? Um, and then they asked the brother, that was like standing on the other side of the man on the street dude, and he described looks and physical characteristics also. And the lady was like, "That's not fair, or that's sexist, or whatever she said. That's misogynistic, or whatever she said." And like, if I recall correctly, but I don't know if this was in my imagination or if I recall seeing this, but it was like, wait a minute, but you just said the same thing, and she was like dumbfounded. She was like, you know, and so that's what the ladies are doing. They're just talking. It's not about being logically consistent. As a matter of fact, when you hem them up about how hypocritical what they're saying is, it's different because I'm a woman and like, and essentially it's like this is the payback. Like my and what they love to say, women didn't have weren't able to use credit cards until like the 1970s. They didn't have their own credit until the 19. They couldn't buy their own house. Uh, and so it's really the cosmic get back, cosmic retribution, right? And Spain Man says, "What's going on, Spain Man? Gynometry, right? Whenever you press them about how hypocritical it is, they don't do what Z does. What does Z do? And oops, no, they try to explain it. Well, the get back. What they really try to say, well, and they really are trying to say, and they're really saying it's the get back, huh? And Emerald Edges says, "Z emergency clip, which you just said. Trust me. Make that bit a short, please. What bit? Z be going right." And Trail says, "Yes, you were born in 2002. What get back? Who owes you anything? Right? Who did you wrong? What plight they, especially the black community, they all, even the women that never seen the damn movie The Color Purple, they all act like they're put upon, like we somewhere in the 1920s, 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, and black men are just backhanding them, graping them, and like this is the cosmic get back. But for Trell, I say,
He's right, you know.
right, man. And Congruous says so many ran down grandma houses that were inherited from grandpa, held by granny, and now Keisha got it all over Baltimore. I don't know. I can't tell you that story. That's really close to home. Um, let's just say someone near and dear to me has someone who lost their mother's house because they weren't, and off of taxes, by the way, off of the taxes. The house was paid off. I'll just leave it there. I ain't gonna go too far into it. I'll just leave it there. This was a little while ago, but yeah. Yep. So go into what you're saying, good guru. And I'm also says, Z, I want to send you a custom T-shirt with a symbol on it. It's like your bat sign, LOL. Um, okay. Email me and we'll get to it. Once again, email is in the description box. Email is in the description box. So email me and we'll work through it. Right. And Indigo says, and y'all know that Mr. Z has said this before. And Indigo says, vicarious secondhand trauma founded on baseless and or unsubstantiated narratives. There you go. Right? That secondhand trauma, that and you want to know what black women really feel? Black women really feel that with celebrity black men. When I said this before, let's say it again. When a celebrity black man ends up with a non-black woman, when they see video, y'all gives you a second, my background. And we're back. And we're back. Um, damn, I lost my train. Oh yeah, the vicarious trauma. Yeah, no, that black women really feel that with the celebrity thing. We already know if they see if there's any footage of a basketball player that's like the it guy right now, a football player that's the it guy right now, any black man worth a damn, um, who's holding hands with a white woman, black women feel slighted. They feel like it's an attack on them. Once again, they feel like, and they speak like this black person tapped that this black man tapped them on the shoulder and said, "By the way, I'm with this white woman, I'm with this Latina, I'm with this Asian woman because you're hideous, because your big ugly black lips and all this." Like, that's how they feel, right? Like I said, it's an indictment on them and their phenotype. Huh? Oh boy, jeez. And Mr. Shukti says, I mentioned that earlier. My granddad had multiple properties and left them to the girls when he passed. They squandered everything. Man, man. Just remember the women are the more disciplined sex. Remember the women are the more safe sex. Remember the women are smarter sex. Remember that, everyone. Every time we hear a story like what Mr. Shook to you said, remember the society keeps on telling us that, especially in the black community, the men and the boys are the F ups. We're the immature ones. We're the unlikable ones. We're the ones who haven't developed character, right? We're the violent ones. All right. We're the weak link, right? We're the white supremacists of the black community. Recall, remember, just saying, that's what it is. Ah, horrible, yo, horrible, horrible. So, coming to a close, I just wanted to, I wanted to cover this. What do we owe women? What do black men in specific? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. What do black men owe black women? That's the question. What do we owe them? What do you owe the sex that has, especially over the past few decades, made sure to emphasize to you that they owe you nothing? That they could be as mean and as rude and as snarky, as entitled, as petulant as humanly possible, because this is their cosmic getting back, their cosmic retribution, and this is cosmic justice. Because some Middle Eastern man backhanded his wife 2,500 years ago, and so all men got to feel it now. Huh? What do XY chromosome owe XX chromosome? Huh? The women and the dominant society has emphasized to black men in specific that women writ large, black women in specific, owe them nothing. As a matter of fact, this society has emphasized to black men that black women have left them behind. Black women are outpacing them. Recall, that's what they keep on telling us, right? Black women earn more than black men. Women have more college degrees than black men. Remember, and we already know the real stats to this, but remember, they told us that black women are the most educated demographic in America, right? Black women are the most educated demographic in America. In actuality, they need to stop spreading that because it's actually.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Just saying. Huh? We have to emphasize that we don't owe this society. We don't owe the women being kick ass so that they can um actually not feel shame being married to us and actually not divorce us within 5 years. We do not owe them that. Dear women, you are right. You owe men nothing. Black women, you owe black boys and black men absolutely nothing. You have made that crystal clear over the past few decades that you owe black men nothing. That black men and boys are deserving of nothing. And black boys and men have got the message clear. They understand now. On the other end of that is the question of what do they owe you? And from that British white woman who was on the train standing to America, in every black neighborhood and hood in America, men writ large in the West, black men specifically, said, we owe you nothing. We don't owe you getting up out of that chair. We don't owe you holding the door open. We don't owe you helping you with your heavy groceries. We don't owe you helping you bring your heavy stuff up the stairs at the apartment. We don't owe you that. We don't owe you because this woman's my wife and you're her homegirl. We don't owe you helping you put up your shelf or helping you move some heavy stuff around your house without the vagina being on the table. Ooh, goddamn, Z. We don't owe you that. Huh? We don't owe you helping you and saving you and putting our life on the line if you're being harassed or attacked by another man. We don't owe you that. We don't even owe you recording it so that you can get some type of justice in the future. Once again, this is dangerous. You cannot maintain and definitely not sustain and definitely not forward a community, a society with this type of mindset. Mr. Z is already conceding that out the gate. I'm conceding that from the beginning. What I'm saying is that this society and women have set the precedent that men are deserving of nothing, black men in specific. And to even suggest a thing, you will be met with the worst insults and the questioning of your manhood and your masculinity. And the men said, I bet. Right? You're not, Trell says hard D and bubblegum. Trell, they're not deserving or owed that either. I want to be very clear. Women aren't owed being aroused by you. They're not owed being attracted to you. They're not owed being intrigued by you. They're not owed your charisma. They're not owed your presence. They're not owed your safety umbrella. They're not owed anything. They're not owed your kindness. They're not owed anything. I want to stress once again, this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. What Mr. Z is saying, this is where we are because the dominant society and the women have said, this is where we are. And the men said, I bet. Huh? And Chef Butter Biscuit says, and thank you for the super chat, I would tell Dr. Richard Reeves and his friends to mass import new women while simultaneously changing the environment, culture, and prepare for the fallout. I would say the same thing. And you get, Chef Butter Biscuit,
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, Chef Butter Biscuits. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. But yeah, I would agree with that. Dr. Richard Reeves already knows this, right? That's why he said, what was it? Was it on Coleman Hughes or was it on Andrew Yang, where he said where he made mention of same-sex loving black women, right, as being kind of like the kind of exit for what the exit for women because the men are not quote unquote on their level. Not enough men are on their level or above. Huh? Dr. Richard Reeves already knows. He's actually looking for a way, and I see it. I see him looking for a way to get the men to invest in society, invest in the women, knowing that there's a 50-50 chance that this marriage goes the long haul. And that's why some of that shaming language was from him mid last year with the idea like, it's not MGTOW is not manly. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lean in. Absolutely not. You and Sheryl Sandberg could kick rocks, right? Absolutely not. To the ladies on Madame Noir, to Ebony K. Williams, to Chrissy, to Real Talk with Yanny, to all of these women, we don't owe you any of it. To Steve Harvey, it's a man's job to take care of some wife and kids. We don't owe Lori Harvey that. We don't owe your daughters that. We don't owe women, young black women that. We don't owe them that. They have let us know that they've given us their ass to kiss. And they think that people like you can make and break us into doing for them. And we said no. We don't owe saving or helping women, black women specifically, as this economic environment becomes more dire. It's going to become more dire for everyone. But once again, black women have 8 cents to the white man's dollar. They have the least amount of wealth in America, right? According to the St. Louis Federal Reserve. And black men do not owe black women helping them through that, carrying them on our shoulders through that. No. In a different world, if your daughters weren't such insufferable a-holes, yes, absolutely. In a different world where your daughters played the community game, yes, absolutely. It would be my pleasure. But in this world where you raise your daughters to not worry about no man, don't care about no man, now she's 28 and 30 and 32 years old, and now that the baby rabies done got to her, and that biological clock is ringing off the hook, and now she feels like there's no man on my level. I'm gonna go swirl and divest. She does that for a few years. That don't work out because it rarely does. And now the Steve Harveys of the world are attempting to chastise mainly black men about being the type of man that their daughter wants to marry and that wants to marry their daughter. No, absolutely not. Nope. Huh?
He's right, you know.
Just saying. Huh? So that needs to be emphasized. And on that note, y'all, look, I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer. We already hit the 2-hour mark. Shout out to the replay gang. Like, share, subscribe, hit the thank you button for the replay gang. Yeah. What are women owed? We don't owe them anything. We don't owe you being kick-ass so that after you come off the carousel, you still get your johnny wet because there's an abundance of 6 foot tall plus, 6-figure earning, 6-inch member, 6-pack having men. We don't owe you that. Go get in line with the 10 or so, 15 or so percent of men who fit that. Go get in line behind the other women who are in line. If you rather not, if you have too much ego, then go bump vaginas with some other woman. Go munch on some other woman or get munched on by some other woman. If you rather not, then go be a passport girly and go pay for peen from Dexter St. Jacques or from Luigi And not even that Luigi, because it don't look like he messed with black women, but okay. Go to Italy, go to Jamaica, and go pay for Pete and have your quote unquote girlfriend experience for a week. Huh? Dear ladies, you have choices. You could be single with your Rose toy. You could go on day trips and cruises and do day parties with your homegirls to, to attempt to ignore the loneliness and the pain, right? You have there's choices here, right? So on that note, everyone, we'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other black men's, but excuse me. Let's pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other black manosphere content, other non-manosphere content for the love of God. The question is, what do black men in specific owe women, owe black women in specific? And I think that we owe the women what they owe us. What they have said that they owe
He's
us.
right, you know.
What they said they owe us.
He's right, you know.
Right? And on that note, everyone, y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z might be coming back to y'all with another stream later on tonight. We'll see. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, as I said earlier. And all right, y'all, Mr. Z out.